now we're going to talk about med ball throws as it relates to driving and the drivers. So there's two key drills that we use here. One is the golf chop, actually.
Yep.
You kind of innovated that, and then parallel med ball throws. So when we kind of covered why med ball throws are important. Do you want to add anything to that, Kenneth?
No, I mean, if you look at what's happened over the past 15 years, thanks to Tiger, it's all focused on rotation and core strength, and so the med ball throw equates to power, essentially.
Absolutely. So there's and probably a little bit of speed, but definitely power, especially if you go with heavier ones. So I guess I'll kind of go through the drill, and then you can kind of talk, and then if you don't mind just kind of showing us. I know you're a lefty though, so we'll make it work. Thank you. So again, we're using a total control ball at 74, so very lightweight. So here, if you gentlemen go right there, we're good. Please and thank you. So we're kind of on an angle, but we make it work. So how I coach it is feet parallel, toes lined up, a little bit behind the cone and under the cone, and then you load up, and then the goal is to hit the cone. So anything you want to add, Coach?
No.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think when you're here, the big thing, you're trying to release that down here. So this has been a popular drill. You'll see them using it in the gym with some type of bands or pulley system. But this is a great way to get speed here as you're rotating in. So you're really trying to get your body to rotate. It's not just a hands and arms motion, which I think we see too much on the range, especially with kids. They try to create the speed just with your hands. Your hands are only going to go so fast. The fastest part of the whole golf swing is the club head. Hands are second fastest and body's the slowest. So when you're up here, if you just threw that with your hands, you're not using where a lot of that speed comes from. So that's a really good drill. Simply just getting that ball in a good top of the backswing position and throwing it down to the ground.
So we want to work the muscles themselves and as much of the movement as possible, but really we're focused on using our legs and our core to spin. If you look at, I always tell my students, when you watch a figure skater on the ice, they're not spinning with their arms, they're spinning when they suck everything in. It's their body that keeps rotating.
Yep.
And that's where they get their speed from. So what we want to do, Kevin's correct, that we want to use our body and we want to keep our legs flexed so that at that release, it's not our arms swinging down, it's mostly our legs that are pushing up that will help with that release. While we're doing that, we just have to keep our torso facing more towards the ground. A lot of times you want to do this motion, very common in golf. We want to prevent that. So we want to make sure that when we're releasing it, torso stays down.
Create a lot of speed that way.
And we create a lot of torque, a lot of turn, and actually more consistency because the big muscles are controlling it, not our hands and our wrists, which are different every single
And I think, you know, what we were talking about both earlier is you create a little more speed in the body. The hands are going to come a little faster. Everything clears out of the way. And then there's less of that, what Gunnar was talking about, the posture coming out, or what's called early extension into the ball. And you're going to be able to hit it faster, a lot faster. And you don't have to be big. This is not a large person, strong person thing. It's some of our faster juniors are the smaller ones because they know how to use their body.
Well, coordination of force. They know how to pull it all together.
Yes.
So I guess my question is, in a drill like this, does trail leg strength play a role as much?
Yeah,
I think it for sure does, and I think you have to keep using it because it's not just here.
Okay.
It's I'm pushing off as I do that.
Okay, and so again, that's where that asymmetry shows up. So we really want to, you know, so even in this drill, you know, you should see kind of a change as you get stronger.
Yeah, so I think if Gunnar did that drill, if he took it up to the top and his pressure stayed on his trail leg too long, he's going to go back this way, and that ball is going to get thrown up.
Got it.
Okay, and that's where if there's no power there, it's you're going the wrong way.
Okay,
and that would be a huge thing we see in males, females, juniors, senior players, the body going the wrong direction.
Got it.
When I ask some of my students to do this drill, they use their hands so much that they'll end up throwing the golf ball or the med ball behind them.
Wow.
Because that's what their hands are doing.
Yes.
Okay.
And they just can't grasp the concept of everything going and staying down.
Got it. So this is a great cue for them.
It's actually a great golf drill. Not
Okay.
just mention a training exercise, but it's a great golf drill.
Okay. So would you say that if someone was going to work on, you know, their hitting, should they get a med ball and do like 3 or 4 of these before they actually...
It cannot hurt.
Okay. Well,
it could be a great home thing, because again, none of the stuff you're talking about takes a lot of equipment. It doesn't take a lot of time, but in as little as 15 minutes a day, it sounds like an infomercial, but,
yeah,
but you, can
exactly.
you can definitely pick up speed with a couple little things. And I think our juniors have seen that throughout the year. We encourage them, when Gunnar's teaching full swing, we want you to swing hard. Swing hard. Go after it as long as you're doing it correctly. And if you're doing it correctly with what you've told them, by the time they get to short game and putting, good. They should want to do that to lower their score.
Got it.
And any drills that they can do at home. It means that they don't have to drive to a driving range to practice hitting golf balls. Yep. They can do this in their backyard. Yep. They can do this in their basement during the winter months here in Wisconsin. So anything that they can do that works on the muscles and gets them sequenced correctly just makes it easier once we throw a golf club in their hand and tee up a golf ball.
Correct. Totally correct.
Yeah, I agree. So I would say, you know, with this drill, maybe 2 sets of 5. Again, you know, not many, but, you know, just the cumulative effect of doing it over time is going to pay off big dividends.
And even I think it wouldn't hurt if someone recorded you while you were doing it.
Absolutely.
So you can see how your body moves.
Absolutely.
You know, I think it's always good. I mean, we're constantly showing people what their swing looks like on the iPod or the iPad, either one, just so they can have a little visual. I'm not doing that. Well, actually you are. Here's what it looks like. Oh, okay. I need to get better at that. I need to push that a little bit harder or whatever it may be.
Tape never lies. And I also think, you know, kind of going further down that road, watching people that do the drill better also counts as a rep.
For sure.
It actually shows you. So, no, that's great. So the next drill that we're going to talk about is actually the parallel med ball throw. So, I guess I'm going to talk about the why, and from a biomechanical standpoint, and then if we can just kind of ping pong. So it's my favorite drill in that. I guess let's rotate. Okay. Sorry, yeah, so I can get it together. But basically, this drill to me, if there was any drill that you could do all the time, it's this one. You know, if you really don't have any time, because it pulls everything together, where, you know, and I feel like it's natural, so you're going to correct me on the hand movements, but you're moving from here and you're going in the direction that you would hit. For me, the landing spot where it hits tells you, are you high, low,
I agree.
Left, right? Yep. And it really brings attention to the transfer of force from trail leg to lead leg.
Yes.
So here, just for grins and giggles, I'll do it.
Yeah. Let's see it. Let's see it.
Ladies and gentlemen, I've been coaching here for 8 years. I've only golfed once in my life, but they keep inviting me back.
That's our fault.
Yeah. All right. So I load up here, and then I swing through. Yep. So not a lot of force, but it flew straight. And the reason why the red cones are here is you don't want the ball to land high.
Correct.
This is kind of like the ceiling for the landing. Yep. Here you go. And then make sure
and Gunnar, in this one, show a little bit more, like using a little lower body with it as well.
Yeah, and so again, the lower body, my personal preference, I always have my students narrower stance, more bend in their legs, because that allows them to turn what you would use for a squat or what we consider power motions, and it turns it into a rotational force. And it creates a lot of speed. focusing on staying down and keeping that lower body more of a rotational, and then a press is going to be huge. Where you can start to see the extension at my hamstrings, my quads, my glutes, and the power and speed that they can put then into the rotation and the swing itself, or in this case, the toss.
Yeah, I definitely think there's the two ways to do it. I like throwing in this one where he's getting a little bit more lower body in there as well. That speed. And then there's that one, I think the original one you went with the kids.
Yeah.
Here, right? And had them just rotate through to there. What I like about that, if you look at it from a face-on view, and Gunnar will attest, what's the biggest thing we see after impact? Those arms don't extend. And if you think about that, if that golf club's traveling at 100 miles an hour, and when you hit a golf ball, this is what your arms look like, you're just bound to get hurt at some point, because that means the body's not rotating. So something simple as this, what you do, there's the extension you're talking about. When Gunnar was doing it this way, there's the extension we're talking about. So here, there, again, I'm rotating the body as I do that to get that to go, one, the direction I want, and two, try to create some speed as I'm doing that. Should help with extension through the shot, and should help with better contact, because my body's going and my pressure's going more toward the target rather than away from the target.